Google Stadia has decided to close down their first party game development studios. They call them SG&E. Um, so this is actually a release by Google on their blog, and they kind of just discuss why they did this. And the reasoning behind
Why did
it
they do it?
is they decided that instead of working on games, which is not their specialty, and games take a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort. You have to be passionate about it. Um, they decided that that wasn't their calling, and perhaps maybe they rushed into it. And so now they're going to shift focus onto the platform itself to deliver the best gaming experience for gamers as well as the best way for third parties to get their games out there. So I think that's a smart move on their part. What do you think?
I think it was a smart move that they should have done from the get-go.
Yeah.
I don't understand why they didn't do this to begin with. If anything, this is poor planning on their part.
Yes, it's almost as if they just kind of admitted to themselves like, "Hey, we don't know how to make games." Like, why are we doing this? We're not.
Well, it's not that we don't know how to make games. It's more like we don't know how to manage game studios
Yeah.
and manage expectations and maybe understand the gaming community as a whole because Stadia should have launched like that in
Yes.
terms of having the best experience, having the best method of playing these games via their platform.
Yes.
And they didn't.
Yeah, they didn't. And I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say there's one way that Stadia can kind of make up for this and kind of secure their place in the gaming market. Be really, really pro indie developer. Kind of like how Xbox is. If they can do that, then and then ink out some good deals for some of these indie development studios, they can get games that other studios might not be able to get because you know the thing about being an indie developer is you're not paid. A lot of them aren't paid up front. You know what I mean? They just kind of have to release their game out in the wild and hope it does well. Well, if Stadia can provide them a good home and kind of give them some backing, then they can probably get some good indie games on their platform that other places won't have. So, um, but for me, it's all about just supporting those indie developers and giving the gamers the best experience possible. You know what I mean?
So I agree to an extent, but it is kind of a slippery slope.
Yeah.
And the biggest reference there is Epic Games in terms of their aggressive acquiring of games through deals,
Yes.
game exclusivity to be specific.
Yeah.
And that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way to the point where they just said they wouldn't be using the Epic Games platform because they were poaching.
Yes.
And granted, this gave indie developers the opportunity to survive
Hmm.
because they were getting a large influx of cash up front before even selling the game.
Hmm.
But you're doing it at the cost of gamer goodwill.
Yeah. So here's the thing: they could do a thing where they said, "Hey, look, you're gonna release your game. We're gonna help you release your game, and you'll be exclusive for two
A year,
years or a
kind of like
year."
Final Fantasy
Yeah.
VII Remake is exclusive to the PlayStation right now.
Yeah. And but just do it temporarily, like a time release. You know what I mean? Like if I was an indie developer, I would only agree to a time release. I would not agree to locking my game on one platform forever. So
Yes, you're adamant against exclusivity.
yes, yeah. But at the same time, I'm coming to understand that I can't be 100% against it because I realize that some games just wouldn't be made. You know what I mean? There's just some games that just wouldn't exist without exclusivity. And so it's hard for me to it's hard for me to admit that in some cases, but it's just true. So I'm
I
kind
can
of
tell
like
you're kind of choking up.
yeah. I'm trying to walk the line. I'm trying to walk the line where it's like exclusivity up to a point. You know what I mean? I don't want it past a point. If a game is going to be thrown in the trash, okay, then make it exclusive, you know? Make it happen. But if it's going to end up like, you know, like what happened to Demon Souls did before the PS5, you know what I mean? Then but then again, that's a different story cuz Demon Souls shouldn't even existed in the first place. um okay. All right.